I am Iron Man. Hello, this is Soundout here with my first Iron Man review. And we're doing Iron Man. Marks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, you can count. Yeah, they have their inexplicably large accessories, and I'll get to those later. I haven't done a review in a while, and I thought, what better thing than to cash in on the latest craze of Iron Man 2. So let's get started with the main Iron Man armors, with Mark 1. Now, a couple things I want to talk about before I actually get started on this review. No, there won't be any packaging reviews since every single package is exactly the same. I mean, look at this. Just every package is the same. You can't even tell that I'm changing packages. I'm just changing figures inside. It's pretty much all Hasbro did for the packaging. So that is not going to be covered in this review. But my biggest thing that I have problems with in the Iron Man line is quality control. Everyone has this problem. There are bad problems. Sometimes it's joints, sometimes it's paint, sometimes it's mismolded hand. That is the closed fist hand of the Mark IV on the Mark VI. I bought this just to show you how bad the quality control can get. Aside from the fact that his leg's all twisted. But, I mean, that's just not fixable. Okay, even the manufacturers of these toys, Hasbro, got Mark IV and 6 confused. So they put the wrong hand on there. Okay, that's kind of weird. It just got worse. I mean, I saw a really mangled and messed up Mark IV at one store. Here's Mark V. This is my first Mark V. By first, I mean this was the one that I had to buy another one to replace. Because when I open this guy up, check him out. And this happened. His arm just snapped off the second I moved it. This is horrible. Okay, this figure is perfect compared to my new replacement. Well, almost perfect. It's just the arm broke off. Now, I mean, I'm not as angry about it now, because I'm kind of calmed down since this happened a couple weeks ago. But I recorded video of how pissed I was, and I'll play that for you now. And then we'll move on to the Mark 1. Well, correction. Apparently my Mark V's arm joint here was molded wrong, so the joint wouldn't move, and his arm just snapped off when I tried to move it. Wow, that just sucks. Okay, quality control, this is the worst thing ever. Didn't notice on this joint, it was a little bit more, look at this. The joint wasn't molded right, and his arm just snapped right off. Oh my god. My god. Oh my god. Seriously, Hasbro. Holy crap. This has pissed me off. I went to bend the elbow, and it snaps off. That is not right. That is wrong. Oh my god. I better stop before I get more violent. I have angry nerd rage now. Okay, so here's the Mark 1, the first armor Tony Stark built, and he used it just to get out of the terrorist place, wherever that was. I'm not really sure. It's somewhere in the Middle East. Yeah, it shortly was destroyed. And then some people picked it up and sold it to Obadiah, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yes, the first armor used, and the one used a little bit longer than the others. Took a while to build, but he built it from parts of his own weapons, and he promised the bad guys that he was making them a Jericho missile, but he didn't, because he made an armor instead, and escaped, thanks to that dude with the accent I can't really place. Anyway, I'm explaining pretty much the plot of the movie now. So this is obviously the first figure in the movie line. It is number 01. It is the Mark 1. It is the first one. There is not much else to say about that. It's probably the most unique out of them all, being the bulkiest Iron Man armors, by the way. Yeah. Being the bulkiest of them all, just he is nice. I like the design. It's very reminiscent of the comic version of the Mark 1, yet it's something new. It's unique. You can even see these figures are very nice. They just have bad quality control. This is the only problem I have with my Mark 1, using my special hand technique to get my camera to focus on it, is that the paint will issue on his face. But that's about it. As you can even see the suit, like the suit that Tony Stark wore underneath, molded in, except on the neck, I think is the only part that's missing. No, it's there too. Every single detail. You got detail on the back, you got detail all over the place. Come on. I want to show you the detail here. There's little tampografs on his... Gosh, this is really hard to focus. And yes, I smashed my thumb in a door. If anyone's asking, please don't comment about that. Anyway, you can see, it's just... Oh, there we go. It says AF P1 475. So that's obviously parts of his armor. There's the arc reactor that doesn't really work very well. You got like little tread lines. You got... I think this is part of his flamethrower thing. But, I mean, the flamethrower is molded in under there. You got every little detail molded into this thing. Including something I noticed after I got this figure. And then I looked at... if my things won't stop falling over. There we go. You can see that it's uneven here, and that is movie accurate. I checked when I watched the movie again after getting the figure. It's just a nice looking figure overall. This is probably my favorite out of all of them, just because of its nice details. It's got rivets and such. Now, that I've gushed over the detail too much, I'm going to go over the articulation. You got ball joint neck, which, you know, if you pull it hard enough, you probably could pop it off too. You got a waist joint. If it would focus, gosh, camera, come on. Are you serious with me today? I just, you know, sometimes this camera just doesn't want to work for me. There we go. You got nice waist joint. You got outward shoulders, slightly limited and slightly tight jointed. Ugh, my problem with these things. Elbows, rotate, no wrists. It's the only one that doesn't have wrists. He's got the odd hip joints that they keep putting on these figures that they should at least solve the problem. I think War Machine has the best one. Well, they're not supposed to be like that. You're not supposed to be able to see the joint. It's just they're so tight and there's so many joints that they put into these hips. You can get forward, and if you rotate it and like that, and then you can get it out. They're just a mess. They're very difficult to handle. It's a problem with every one of them. And sometimes you just have to leave them in one position and decide, well, that's the pose you're going for. Knees would run on this nice clean joint, and then you got ankles. It's slightly limited there, but it goes a little bit farther on that one because of the clearance, and they can go back too. And they also rotate there. So, very nice. You got pegs on the bottom of the feet, but that's for something else later. Now, of course, because it's an Iron Man movie toy, you have to have an inexplicably large missile launcher or accessory. This one's resembled after his flamethrower, and I actually like this one a lot. It's probably the one I actually use, aside from this garish missile that shoot himself with a missile. It's designed to look like fire, yet it has something at the top of it. What the heck? Now, to keep track of all these really large accessories that no one uses, I have my little tin here. It says Iron Man on it. It has pictures of him. It had a watch inside. I'm going to start loading this thing up with all the pieces that I don't normally use. So, this just clips on very nicely to his flamethrower arm. Unfortunately, it can't go on the bottom, which is where it should belong. But if you rotate his arm like this, you can kind of pretend it does that, but yeah, it's not working very well. So his posing is very nice, very awesome. You can have him some walking, like, blowing stuff up poses that are amazingly awesome. I kind of like that one. You know, you can just have fiddle around the figures, and you can have a ton of posing options. They're almost as versatile as Figuarts, if they don't have swappable hands. Now, the other thing, he comes with a little stand, and you might notice this giant slot in the back. Now, you know, this is a nice little stand. It has a peg. It's generic. Everyone comes with the same stand. Nothing is unique. Unfortunately, because his foot pegs are at the front, he's really tough to get a good pose without running into the back part, which is for the gimmick of the line. Armor cards. I love these armor cards. The armor cards are amazing. I love Bandai's Mix and Morph and Alien Creation line because you can create your own things. Well, they did similar things here with these armor cards. You take the armor pieces apart, and you can swap them around with the other armor cards from the figures. Like, here's Comic Series War Machine. So you can have, like, hybrid... You can make your own armors. Like, there you go. You got, like, beefed up War Machine. It's just such a nice option. There's so many of them. You also, when you line them all up, you get a code on the side. It also says IronManCard.com over here. I've tried that link several times. It just hasn't been posted yet. It just leads me back to the Marvel site. So that makes no sense at all. They just load in very nicely. Make sure you get them in the right slots or else this won't look right. Loads up very nicely. And you get this nice little 3D-esque thing behind him. So very nice. Mark 1 is probably one of the best figures of the line. I would highly recommend picking him up on site as he is going really fast. Now we move on to the Mold Sharing Buddies Marks 2 and 3. Okay, so here is Marks 2 and 3. The Mold Sharers. None of the other figures share the exact same mold as another except for these two. And my problems occur here. Mark II is known for having many rivets in it, and those aren't molded on, they're just painted and tampographed. And Mark III, you're going to have the most quality control issues with. This is like the 7th one in the store, and I finally found a good one. But let's get started. Mark II has got to be one of my favorite armors. This figure just makes me love it more. It's nice, sleek, silver, has rivets, so it's really prototype-ish. Nice panel lines, arc reactor blue, arc reactor lights. You got nice detailing. Of course, the panel lines are slightly mishap, but you can't really tell that. Nice blue arc reactor, or repulsor blast. And what's cool is that they even painted it on there, on the closed fist. Okay, the detail's amazing. Unlike the 6-inch version that came out in the first line, this one has a nice silver gloss paint. For some reason there's a hole in the back. That's on all of them except for Mark 1. It's just nice looking overall. You get all kinds of articulation. You get ball jointed neck. Shoulders. Now if you push them too far, it doesn't happen on this one, but I'll show you on the other one. The panel, this thing restricts it a little bit. You got elbows here. You got rotation at the elbow. You got rotate at the wrist. You got this nice torso joint here. Instead of a waist, you have a torso joint. You get these, oh my god. These are so tight. I would love to put this thing in such dynamic poses, despite never having that in the first movie, despite being used as such a, having icing issues. Like, I don't need this anymore. And it just doesn't move out. You have to turn the thing so much to get it to work. But you have it's nice looking. You get double joint knees with kind of a figure art-esque reveal stuff. SH Figure Arts is what I'm referring to for those that don't know. I'm not going to explain it right now. Check out my channel. I have a couple figure art reviews up there. Yeah, very nice articulation. So you can give some nice poses. Now the Mark III has the same thing, articulation-wise, but detail-wise, this is my problem. You can probably tell, but this piece up here is a lighter shade than this piece down here. It's so annoying and it sticks out. Plus the fact that it's pink in the middle of the arc reactor. What? Paint splotches everywhere. I don't think there's one figure I saw that didn't have this paint splotch. The glare causes the camera not to focus very well on it. The hole in the back again. Same mold, so same articulation, but it has one major flaw that bugs everything about it. While the Mark II had limited shoulder articulation because you couldn't move, because the panel, the shoulder pads got noise, plus this guy, he has looser hip joints, so I give him credit for that. This is my problem. Watch. I have no clue where that went. The Mark II, nice and sturdy. I think this was the repaint. The Mark III, the one that's used the most in the first movie, is gotten to be the repaint. Mark II was the original mold, because this, it happens on both shoulders. They just come off when you push them. They're clicked in this time, but when you move them like that, I mean, I don't even know where that went. Oh, there it is. It's over. Wow. It shot at least a good 10 feet. They do go back into place very nicely, but it's just so annoying. My main reason not to buy Figure Arts Drake even when on sale. I hate it when that happens. Pieces flying off when you don't expect it to. Now, the Mark II here, it has an inexplicably large missile launcher, which I actually like. It's the same silver paint. It also has what looks like a ice blast. It looks like Mr. Freeze's shooting cannon thing. It clicks on very nicely, stays into place, and I actually like it. It's inexplicably large, but it's a BFG. Big Fun Gun. So you can have him with this giant gun, which I love the look at this. Considering that I can't move his hips very much, it may just be mine, it looks awesome. So, 2 missile launchers that you have convinced me to use, Hasbro. Back in the box. Now, he also comes with this stand, which you can stand on with the back foot pegs, which are a lot better than the Mark 1s. Again, my only complaint about Mark 1. 3 armor cards, again, so you could do a Mark 2 and 3 hybrid crossover thing. But there you go. Hopefully I'm out of chipmunk mode by now. Now, Mark 3. It doesn't come with an inexplicably large missile launcher that the 6-inch version came with. And by the way, if you haven't even noticed it, if you didn't know this, or I just forgot to mention it, they're 4-inch scale. That is nice, because that's scaled to Astro Boy, Power Rangers, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, Ben 10, Marvel Universe, DC Universe, things I'm looking around my room that are 4-inch scale, Power Rangers. Did I already say Power Rangers? I don't know. Yeah, 4-inch scale is very, very popular. So that's good. Now, you get this. What? Okay, this is supposed to be an upgrade, a sleeker upgrade to the Mark 1's bulkiness, yet you get this giant thing that just makes this... Oh my god. And they don't even put it on right on the packaging image. On the back, it's backwards. And then you flip these up so you can have I guess this is supposed to resemble the little fins he had in the first movie when he's like being chased by planes. I mean, it doesn't even look anything like it. It just looks stupid and annoying. Yet it's still there. Granted, now when you push the arms up, they're even more restricted. I ate that a lot. I will eat that for dinner, if I had to. I wouldn't eat that... What am I saying? I don't know. So posing him on his stand... granted, he doesn't have enough articulation to punch the ground, but neither could the 6-inch version could, so, nah. And they have about the same articulation, and they've actually improved a lot of problems I had with the 6-inch versions, why I never bought them. Oh, yeah. So, again, chipmunk mode. Okay, so, again, very nice. Mark II is amazing. Mark III is a horrible piece of plastic that I don't really like too much. I like the design, I like I mean, come on. It's the one that was used most in the first movie, and it's the repaint. And it's the one with the mold degradation. It's the one with the most quality control issues out of any other figure in the line. I mean, come on. That wasn't smart. Granted, I like the Mark II a lot better, but still, this thing is amazing. And I'm really not complaining that much. I'm just saying it's not a very bright move. Let's move on with the second movie armors with the Mark IV. So after the Mark III was completely destroyed by Ironmonger, the Mark IV was created as an upgrade. And it is a nice little upgrade. As you can see, it's a little bit armor and it has a little bit more paint apps. That also has an alternate set of hands, with the repulsor blast being on this hand instead of that hand, and I'm pointing with figures now. What is this world coming to? Anyway, the Mark IV is the first one shown in the second movie that I haven't seen yet, so I can't really explain the plotline very well, and that'd be spoilerish anyway. Now, the Mark IV is very much like the Mark VI, but we're going to talk about the Mark VI later, as it is actually a different mold. Now, it's, again, as the only, the Marks 2, 3, and 6 all have Fist, Repulsor Blast. 4 and 5 have Repulsor Blast, Fist. Also, the War Machine also has Fist, Repulsor Blast. So, that's my problem. You have limited poses because the repulsor blasts are in certain places, and you just leave them hanging out to the side. It looks weird. Why don't these have alternate hands? I will even further hate this part because the Mark V comes with an alternate hand. Yeah, I know the 6-inch versions do, but then they're not in scale with the Ironmonger I have. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that eventually. Okay, so here it is. You got, circle arc reactor again. You got different shoulder pads this time. This isn't just a retool. It's a whole new mold. Nice loose joints. Finally, the loosest joints that I can get to go into all the poses I want it to. Twisting them around, twisting it around, outward. I can twist it this way to go forward and twist it around. It's perfect. It's perfected. Unfortunately, it has very bad knees. The knees are kind of bent a little bit, but I can fix that quickly. The hips are almost a little too loose, but I really don't care at this point because I almost am fearful of breaking things when I move the hips. Now, the shoulder articulation is improved over the Mark III, now that we have no shoulder pads that will go flying off, and you also have a nice looking repulsor blast that you can just go like all insane. And again, twisting legs and knees around to get this thing to work. Now, I don't believe this is the first mold. I believe the Mark VI is the first mold, and this is the retool. Again, chronology should show that this should be the original mold. But no, the Mark VI is almost exactly like this, except it has a different arc reactor. That's the difference. And this, I think, is the... Oh, yeah, the hands. But this is the thing... This is the original. Now, he has all the same articulation as the Marks 2 and 3 and 6. They all have the same articulation. And it just looks very nice. Again, a hole in the back for no reason. So you do have some very nice things here. Now, my problem with the face. One of his eyes, one of his blue eyes, if I can... It's slightly crooked. Oh my god, it doesn't even show up on camera? It's messed up though. The tampograph isn't painted right. You can't even tell on camera. Wow. It's kind of smaller, if you can tell that. But yeah, so very nice. Now, he does come with, of course, more accessories. The inexplicably large missile launcher, which actually looks not that bad. With a little missile that does shoot. That goes into the box. And actually, this one looks nice. I just don't like it. Marks 1 and 2's missile launchers are the only ones I'm going to be using. And they won't be with the missiles. So they'll just be launchers. But anyway, he does come with the generic stand. Now, his armor cards slightly bug me. Because, well, actually no, I see why they had to do this. If you take and look... The missile launcher is on the armor cards. Why? Because if you didn't even look at the numbers, just the pictures, this, without the launch, look at this. You can just I love this part. You can layer it. Look at that. The numbers are almost the same. You just layer it up. Look at that. You can't even tell. If you just... This... You see, without the launcher being there, it wouldn't make any difference. And also with the Mark... If you don't look at the numbers. But yeah, same thing happens with the Mark 6 cards. But yeah, so that's why the missile launcher is on there, for anyone that really wants to complain about it. But there's the Mark IV. There's not much else to say about it aside from being a really nice figure. It's probably my second favorite behind the Mark II. Just because the hip joints are loose. Now we'll move on to the suitcase armor, the most controversial of them all, Mark V. Okay, here's the Mark V. If you remember from the previous statement earlier in this video, or however I decided to put this out as a multi-part and combination, there was a problem what I had with the arm breaking off of my original one. Yeah, that's been resolved here. I just went really slowly when bending the joints, and they are very tight. It's just the joint was mismolded on the other one. I really didn't want to go into detail. Actually, I did in my older clip. Anyway, moving on. The Mark V is a suitcase armor, so Tony Stark can carry it around anywhere when he needs to fight guys. It looks kind of like this when it's folded up. That is right. I am not lying about this. This figure comes with itself. It has its regular mode, and it has the suitcase. Nice little molding detail inside the suitcase. But yeah, and do you know what this is? It is a freaking missile launcher. Seriously. It not only comes with the suitcase that he becomes, it's a freaking missile launcher on top of that. I mean, even the 6-inch version has the suitcase. Anyway, let's get on to this figure. Now, my first one was perfect. This one has paint issues. Unfortunately, they are so tiny and really hard to see from the package, I couldn't tell. Yeah, like the back. Anyway, articulation, double joint knees, the most limited hips in the world. I can't get these things to move at all. Ankles, slightly, very limited. Very tight elbows, rotate wrists, and he also got the torso joint, and he's got the ball joint neck. Now, this is one of the two brandly new unique molds, the Mark I being one and this one being the other, because these are the most unique. Now, this figure brings up so much controversy to me, because I always thought these figures should have swappable hands. I was like, well, maybe they're just too small to do that. No, this guy comes with an alternate hand to hold the freaking briefcase. My god. I want to just shoot somebody. They include the pointless hand to carry the pointless accessory that, you know, it swaps off easier than a figure art. It's just because there's figure arts have joints. But, I mean, come on. You seriously include an alternate hand, and don't do that for everything. Well, granted, paint dap detail, thank you. But, I mean, come on. You get to carry... This just bugs me so much that he carries a suitcase around that's a missile launcher. Wait, shouldn't he be able to do that? Because a suitcase literally just becomes the armor. Alright, I'm calm now. There is 2 missiles to go inside the suitcase, and I must admit this is the only one with 2 missiles. They do launch pretty well. So these 2 missiles are going in the completely useless box, and I can't put the hand in there because I'm going to lose it. So, I need my chocolate box, well, used to be a chocolate box, that has all my figure art hands in it and accessories, and stick that in there, because that way I don't lose it. Because, you know, even though I hate it, I don't want to lose anything that I own. Plus, who knows, maybe I'll want the briefcase someday. Yeah, the box is almost full, and we're only 1 armor away, plus... Oh, wait, there's more. Now that my little nerd rage has gone out of the way, let's just load up these armor cards into the stand, and we'll plug him on, as I do not know even how to pose him, since I have never really wanted to fiddle with this toy because of slight fears of the past. Surprisingly, at Walmart, these are the most advertised of all the figures, or the armors. I mean, there's all kinds of advertisements for the Mark V. It's like Mark V shown on their Mark VI bed sheets, and yeah, that's right, Mark V's on Mark VI. I don't really get it. So you can have him doing an awesome battle with Whiplash, who I can't freaking find anywhere in my area. But then again, I don't think he's quite out yet. Also, those little arrow drones that... Anyway, that is pretty much it for the Mark V. And finally, there is only one armor left. The ultimate armor of them all. Mark VI. So here is the Mark VI, the supposed ultimate armor, which is just Mark IV with a different arc reactor. Are you freaking kidding me? Again, there's probably some really good explanation in the movie, but I haven't seen the movie yet. Still, this is the original mold. Mark VI is a retool. Or Mark IV is a retool. My gosh. I don't even know where to begin. Same articulation as Mark IV. And that is it. It is the different arc reactor. The paint scheme is exactly the same. Look, the hands are different. The arc reactor is different. But the paint apps are exactly the freaking same. You can't tell the difference of these without looking at the names or knowing that there's the arc reactor is the only thing distinguishing these two. In real life. I mean, the toy, yeah, you can tell by the hands. But, I mean, look at that. The arc reactor is the only thing distinguishing these two. It's the only notable difference between these two armors. And it annoys me that, I mean, this should be a lot better than just Mark IV with a new arc reactor. Granted, it does have a lot of, fixed problems with the other figures. The knee joint, yeah, it's slightly bent on mine, but that's all. Again, I have that other one that has the really messed up hand. He does come with missile launcher. The missile launcher just kind of clips onto his arm very well. And you can just stick in the missile, which is a different missile, thank you. Different missile launcher also, so bam. Now, read that box back there. 2 powerful projectiles. This is all it comes with. 1. Into the box you go. Into the box you go. Closing up the box we go. Yeah, he only comes with 1. Now, you can't have him looking awesome next to, his buddy that fights drones at the end of the movie with him. At least according to the trailers, that should be the end of the movie. Well, I mean, big action scenes usually are at the end of the movie. So you have him there, looking awesome, standing with his Air Force buddy, his armor in armor brother dude, War Machine. Very nice. And missile launcher again on armor card, but this time they still needed it. Actually, no, not this time. Anyway, no, yeah, they didn't. Anyway. So very nice overall. The Iron Man's 2 Marks 1 through 6. I would recommend them to an Iron Man fan / collector / you like the movie, buy the toys. Just, if you're only getting one, get the Mark II or the Mark IV. And look, always inspect these. Because if you buy a mishap thing, it just doesn't look right. You have to look before you buy. Never order these online. Just look in person. Now, if I haven't teased it enough, the next review will be War Machine and somebody else. So, till next time, it's Soundout. Goodbye.